Paul and Peter were instrumental in the growth of the Church of Rome, yet neither of them had visited Rome when the church was first developing.
True.
So what was the genesis of the Christian church in Rome?
First, I feel it is important to understand the Italian peninsula was made up of separate states and city-states. Italy, as we know it today, was established in 1861. As we know, the Roman Empire was the dominant power at the time and had developed a society which indirectly provided benefits and obstacles for the young church.
What were some of the obstacles?
While the Romans allowed for religions with different gods, Christians were considered more of a cult and not a religion. Christians differentiated themselves by not worshiping Roman gods or participating in the imperial religions. This was an act of treason, a threat to the state and a sign of atheism. Because of this, the Jewish Christians met in secret, which further fueled the allegations of them being a cult.
That seems intimidating. What were the benefits?
Well, the Roman Empire had built an amazing infrastructure, which made it easier for missionaries and believers to travel. Plus, the empire had created a region of relative peace and stability, which also made travel less eventful.
Well, if neither Peter or Paul were in Rome during the initial stages of growth of the Christian church, how did it grow in Rome?
Evidence suggested that small communities of Christians, likely Jewish Christians, who had separated from the synagogue, began arriving in Rome in AD 40s. Scholars feel it is likely that Jews in Jerusalem experienced the day of Pentecost and heard the apostles preach. Some of these Jews returned to Rome, where they initially met in synagogues and later set up small house churches. By the end of the first century, the Romans recognized Christianity as separate from the Jewish faith. This meant the Christians did not have to pay the Jewish tax.
Cool.
Not really. The tax was how Jewish people paid homage to the emperor as divine. Without the tribute and the refusal to worship the Roman gods or pay homage to the emperor as divine resulted in persecution and martyrdom.
Uncool.
In 300 AD, the Christians represented 10% of the population. By 350 AD, they represented 55.5% of the population.
Wow, that is a rapid growth movement.
This was probably held when in 313 AD, Constantine ruled the Christians were free to worship. The church grew and became the state religion in the 4th century. This early church has been referred to as the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, the Imperial Church, the Roman Church, or the Byzantine Church.
Unreal. From humble beginnings when they were persecuted to becoming the state religion is amazing.
Obviously, the apostles were critical to the growth of the church. It is equally evident that regular people spreading the word was of great risk with great reward. All of us today need to remember that as we continue to grow in faith, we need to find opportunities to influence others so the church continues to grow in the future.